Welcome to the second part of my series on pie crust, where I compare 3 different recipes from Bon Appetit, America's Test Kitchen, and Milk Street. If you haven't already, check out part 1 where I show you how to blend the dough and then pop it in the fridge to chill. In this video, we'll be rolling out each dough, baking, and then tasting the 3 crusts to find out which is the best. So our pie crusts are all done chilling. You can chill them anywhere from about an hour to 4 days or more, especially if you put them in the freezer. So we've got our Bon Appetit crust, our America's Test Kitchen, and our Milk Street. Now my testing methodology here is, I want to see how things work in the real world. I'm not going to be rolling these out between parchment paper. I'm going to be rolling them right onto the countertop, onto a floured surface, which I think with granite like this can have a tendency to stick and sometimes be a little unwieldy to work with. So I think this should be a good test to see which of these handles well in this environment, and I'll let you know how things turn out. Let me get these back in the fridge and we'll start rolling them out. Now the key with getting the pie crust into the plate is not to push it down. That'll stretch it and cause it to shrink. You want to just carefully lift it and push. You can always trim it later. Take your time with it. Now we're going to make a nice little edge. All you do is take one finger on one hand, 2 fingers on the other hand, press it together. There we have it. See all these scraps? I'm going to be setting them aside. These are what I'm going to use to judge the flavor of the different crusts. So these are the Bon Appetit crusts, or scraps. They're going to go aside and I'll get back to them a little bit later. The second crust we have is the America's Test Kitchen recipe. This is going into the sweet potato pie. It smells a little yeasty to me. It's a little sticky already. It's got a little water, a little vodka. Let's see how this one comes out. It's rolling out much easier than the Bon Appetit. I remember with the Bon Appetit one I was seeing some cracking. Now it didn't really make a big difference in how it ended up fit in the pan, but this one's got no cracking at all. Rolls out super smooth, super easy. This dough is really easy to work with. So far I've got a good feeling about it. Doesn't seem to stick to my surface too bad, even though it felt tacky to me originally. That looks about the right size that I need. So that was easy. We're going to be using the Milk Street Kitchen recipe of pie crust. This one's an interesting pie crust because it has cornstarch in it. We can make a slurry of that and microwave it with some water. So it's the first time I'll be rolling it out. Let's try it out together and see how it works. Now this recipe promises to be easy to work with. They advertise it as being like working with Play-Doh. So let's see if it rolls out as easily as they say it will. Like with just about any pie crust, you can work ahead and make the crust in advance and then leave it in that disc or puck in your fridge till later. I actually made this about 4 days ago. And I'm just going through to finish my pie now. So far it seems like a fairly sturdy crust. Not quite as easy to roll out as the America's Test Kitchen one was with the vodka and the schmaltz. But then again, I'm no pro baker. And I imagine if you're watching this, you're not a pro baker either. Let's see if this one is going to be as easy. Got our crust in there, now we just need to trim the edges. The rolling pin does a decent job with that. Alright, there we have it. Crust in the tart pan. I'll bake up our scraps and we'll do our test comparison of all the different pie crusts. Now that we have all 3 crusts made, I'm going to try our taste test comparison. Of course I made pies out of each crust, but these are the scraps that are left over from each. Bon Appetit, the America's Test Kitchen, and the Milk Street Pie Crust. To make it a fair test, I wanted to just taste just the crust by itself. So what I have them is laid out here. I'm going to pour some sugar over each of them. Normally I would add cinnamon as well as sugar here, just because it makes a nice little tasty treat. But I thought for the taste test it'd be best to keep it even and not confound things with additional flavors, only sugar and the crusts themselves. So I'm going to pop these into the oven and just keep them in there just to brown. We'll find out together, see which ones taste the best. While those crusts are in the oven, let's talk about ease of rolling out. So I'd say the Bon Appetit one was the least easy to roll out, just because it was lower moisture content probably, and it was just stiffer, kind of prone to cracking, and really dense to roll out. The America's Test Kitchen one with the vodka was super easy to roll out. It rolled out like a dream. Super easy to work with. I was actually worried about it, worried that it was going to be a sticky mess, but it was not. Rolled out simply, held its shape, and didn't crack whatsoever. Lastly was the Milk Street crust. It rolled out pretty well. I also had some cracking like the Bon Appetit. I did have to roll it out thinner just because of the tart pan that I was using. So I don't know that it was necessarily a fair test. I'd say all in all, our winner for the ease of rolling out would be the America's Test Kitchen. Going back to the very beginning, let's talk about ease of bringing it together to start with. The Bon Appetit one was fairly simple. It didn't dirty a lot of plates, but it required a lot of manual muscle and manipulation with the rolling pin in order to get everything combined. America's Test Kitchen was fairly straightforward. It all came together in the blender, in the food processor. That was fine. Finally, the Milk Street one. It came together quite easily as well in the food processor. So I don't know that I could come up with a clear winner, and maybe we'll say a tie between the Milk Street and the America's Test Kitchen on ease of bringing it together. That said, I want to give the Bon Appetit one a thumbs up just because it didn't dirty a bunch of stuff. It's always kind of a drag to pull out your food processor, at least I think. So the fact that you don't have to dirty all those pieces and you can just do it with one piece of equipment, your rolling pin and a bowl, kudos to that. Now it's time to take out our pie crust and taste test each one. Alright, our samples are ready. We're going to give them a minute to cool, then we'll taste them. They all look pretty good though. Smell good too. I love these things. Now that I've given it a few minutes to cool, looking at each of these, they all look about evenly browned, so that's a good start. Let's start with the Bon Appetit. Remember, the Bon Appetit recipe was the one where we only mashed in the butter, no special ingredients, no vodka, no cornstarch, no sour cream. So this is as traditional of a recipe as you can get. It's a really good buttery crust. Got lots of layers. I don't know if you can see that. Very good classic crust. I like it a lot. Let's move on to the America's Test Kitchen. Remember, this one had some vodka in it. Let's see if it tastes any different. one also has the schmaltz in it, but I'm not picking up an overwhelming chicken flavor. It does taste slightly savory, but it still tastes buttery. If I think about it really hard, I might say it has a ever so slightly savory taste, but very, very, very mild. It's a fantastic crust. Also has great layers. This is just as good. Lastly, we have the Milk Street crust. This one had the cornstarch in it, and it also had the sour cream in there. Another very tasty crust. I think I can detect that sour cream in there. It also has great layering, not tough. None of these crusts are tough. So really, all three crusts are great. Bon Appetit one, most basic recipe. It actually tastes the butteriest to me. America's Test Kitchen one with the vodka, and it called for shortening, where I used the schmaltz. Tastes ever so slightly savory, but also just as good. And then finally, the Milk Street Kitchen. This one had the sour cream and the cornstarch. Also very good. Ever so slight taste of tang from that sour cream, but it's got really nice browning, and I wonder if the sour cream helped aid that. I don't have a clear winner here. They're all excellent, and I think they all have their own place. Should we have a doggy taste test? Oh.
So there you have it. 3 very different crusts that work in very different ways, but all have their own place. I think you can find the one that works best for you. In fact, why don't you leave a comment? Let us know which one you're going to make next for your pie. Thank you for watching today. Give us a like and hit subscribe if you enjoy watching our videos. Our next one is going to be James Beard's pumpkin pie. We're going to put that practice into good use, so stick around. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
I think we like it.